Sorry for the technical difficulties. We have done a little bit of a tech alteration, and we now have the N1GP stuff ready to go. I'm going to turn it over to MegaMasterX and Zelly for a little introduction again, and then we'll get started with the exhibition match.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. MegaMasterX here.
And this is Sade from the N1GP.
And today we're going to be viewing an exhibition match between two stalwart members of the community, Symes versus Virririon, who has won an event, and Symes is, of course, the Quiz King himself. So we are very much looking forward to this match.
Yeah, we'll see you later with a small interview section and a Q&A.
Yep.
And the restream machine is now the stream machine. So you know that.
Go ahead and spin it up. X.
And this is Eurasia.
And we will be commentating a net battle, which is going to be Symes versus Virririon from Symes' point of view.
Two very talented net battlers duking it out.
Both extremely skilled in their folder building, Navi customizer building. They've definitely shown their mettle in multiple different events, and we're bound to see a really good show.
Indeedy.
And both Navis are starting out at an even 1400 HP, which is pretty interesting. Looks like Symes has an E-code folder. What's your thoughts on the E-code, Eurasia?
E-code generally has a lot of electric chips, which is very good if you're crossing. But yes, from what it seems like, this folder is heavy with Elec Man, and with Bubble, that'll do ×2 damage, which is actually very effective.
It is. These combos, they work in tandem with one another pretty well. The combo usually goes that Bubble Star chip will trap the opponent if it ends up colliding with them, forcing them to be stuck in a bubble, and that double damage is definitely going to put the hurt on. Looks like Virririon is continuing customization as Symes has opted to go into Tengu Cross, which won't do too terribly much for the two rock cubes on the field. Will Virririon go into Junk Cross if he's playing Falter? What's the game plan gonna be?
If he's going Dust Cross, he may take advantage of the cubes, but that is considering if he's playing Falser. Virririon is known to play Gregor most.
Certainly taking his time. Virrion's a very patient person, likes to formulate the turn in advance, and it looks like he is opting to go for Dust Cross with a Grass Seed.
Oh, there goes that first Navi chip. Gone by beat. Ooh, that Erase Man's gonna do ×2 damage and decross Virririon at the same time. Excellent first turn move.
Stellar. The Grass Seed is gonna continue to go out, but Symes has full license to go ahead and make full use of Elec Man, which also hits objects on the field as well. The V-Doll takes all of that hit, dealing substantial damage to Vir.
That was an incredible play. V-Doll absorbed the damage of the regular hit and the hit by the Stone Cube, which is why I did 360. So Virririon took a massive 720 damage from that one attack.
Within a blink of a turn, over half of his hit points are completely gone. He chooses to Beast out on turn 2 with a Destroy Pulse. Oh my goodness.
Beast Destroy Pulse is almost impossible to dodge.
That rush is going to paralyze Symes. So he's blind.
Yes, Symes unfortunately had his invisible taken away. Although he's blind, he still has heart. Ooh, that Element Man.
That's smart. Using Tengu Cross's charge shot to blow the opponent away, guaranteeing that he landed that rock cube properly, was actually a really wise strategy.
Seems like Symes has drawn Hub Badge already. Really used it? Hub Badge grants you a multitude of abilities from the Navi Customizer for free, but generally you'd want to use it after the opponent has uninstalled you. But this is considering if Virririon has put uninstall into his folder. Ooh, the Alec post.
Dodges it with ease. Oh my goodness, such an onslaught coming in from Virririon, all of which are dodged. And Symes uses Hub Batch to get those Navi customizer boosts, but still runs that risk, like Eurasia said, of being uninstalled. If you've been uninstalled and then use Hub Batch, you still get those abilities, but if you get uninstalled after Hub Batch, all of the abilities are uninstalled.
Yep, permanently, and there's not much you can do about it. For what it seems like, Virririon is running a possibly J-code folder, as he's running very heavy with pulses. Pulse with Beast is really powerful, as auto lock on, and pulses can pierce through invisible. And generally either carry HP bug or paralyze. So, alright, Symes is going Tomahawk to counter the whole pulse business.
So he has status guard thanks to Tomahawk Cross. He no longer is affected by the blind. Eraseman's down, TFC'd into Invis by Symes, but Eraseman pierces Invis, so that's going to connect all the same. It doesn't paralyze again because of that status guard. Rock Cube down as Symes continues to keep that pressure up. How's he going to follow up Meteor Knuckle? Ooh!
Here comes Knuckles. Although Symes has used Hub Batch, so he's safe. Airship is installed once using Hub Batch.
So the gap in the two players' HP is substantially closed, as now Virrilion's Beast expired. There's an HP bug ticking Symes' hit points down on the custom screen thanks to the Pulse.
Destroyer Pulse really does leave you with a multitude of bugs, custom HP bug being one of them. Which means the longer you take, the more damage you'll incur. Oh man, Virririon has done a great job closing the gap.
We've got anti-damage there. TFC Life Aura by Virririon. A strong defensive play this late in the game. Does he have answers? That Invis ended up breaking anti-damage.
Blast Man's gonna be blocked. How unfortunate.
It doesn't look like there's too terribly much that Symes is going to be able to do with the chips on board this turn. That Life Aura is going to be tough to break.
So Symes has already used his Tengu Cross, so he's gonna have to find some way to break that aura.
Now that poison...
Ooh.
Oh! That's right, it doesn't make a poison panel if it does not connect.
And Life Orb protected him from the effects of Vidal, which was very fortunate.
Time is ticking down in custom as Symes is formulating his next turn strategy. It's probably putting a little bit of pressure on him because he's basically got a time clock at this point for the entire match.
So it's like Symes is really relying on Alec Man for this tournament, which is very interesting. Ooh, Judge Man's gonna whip it, and he's gonna give him the books, but unfortunately that's gonna be antied. Ooh!
Oh, Justice
Final
won.
Justice.
That Stone Cube is not going to go there. The Rock Cube is eaten up by the Aura because it can't go onto a panel where a player resides. Symes uses Vidal once again and ends up colliding with that. Is he going to use Electman? Doesn't look like it. Does he have... It doesn't look like he has any answers to Life Aura.
Oh yeah, yes he does. He has Elecman SP, which does 210.
Ah, that's right. I had missed that.
If he catches him with the Rock Cube, he'll be able to pierce Aura and then still hurt him anyway.
I don't really understand why he's going with this chip order.
Ooh, brilliant.
Oh, the Pulse! Oh no! He has no defensive options. All he can do is hide behind the cube.
Virririon does not, unfortunately, Eraseman will miss. He was not close enough. Eraseman only hits within 2 panels. How unfortunate.
That was very skillful play on both players' parts.
Symes had an early lead, but Virririon showed that the tortoise can beat the hare. Trying to see how Symes is going to respond this time.
Taking a little bit more of a careful approach, it looks like.
Although it seems like the field has been more in Symes' favor. First field had rock cubes. This time it's ice cubes, which again favors his Alec man using skills.
Going in Dust Cross, it doesn't look like Virrilion's going to go into a cross at all this game.
He's probably being more careful as he got erased man for first turn before.
That is true.
Poor Brilliant. He lost that Mega or Giga chip.
Alum Sword. That's an interesting folder choice.
Alum Sword will hit you no matter where you are. If you are standing on a panel that's not a normal panel or a cracked panel.
So
220 damage is a lot.
Symes in this instance is completely safe behind that rock cube, so the paralysis didn't really hurt him per se. And of course, you can reduce the time that you're in paralysis by a certain number of frames per each input you do. So if you mash buttons in paralysis, you can theoretically pretty substantially reduce the time you're in paralysis.
That is true. Although some people have actually taken advantage of being in paralysis, as being in paralysis long enough can induce anger.
That's correct.
Oh boy, Symes really has Brilliant covered.
Looks like he's going for a power play.
He's gonna bring the thunder for this turn.
Customization's complete. Symes opts to beast out.
There goes Beat.
I wonder if he accounted for that. That's really tough to keep track of during a match. Oh no, the V-Doll got eaten up. Symes wasn't able to make use of those cubes before they were sucked up by Virririon.
Yo, Virririon, you fat man. You ate 3 cubes. But he missed all of them, unfortunately.
It's good that Symes did not...
He could have TFC'd that. How unfortunate.
He could have.
There you go. See, now he already has a race man. So he has a high chance of decrossing Virririon, which is probably for the best. Leaving Dust Cross on it is really bad. And it looks like he already drew a Hub Batch.
I think Symes at this point is pretty confident that Virririon either doesn't have uninstalled in the folder or just didn't pull it out in the previous game, which could be a mistake.
Is it worth the risk, though?
We shall soon find out as we go into the next turn. Virririon opts to beast out. Both players... Oh, the Elect Pulse ends up connecting.
Destroy Pulse.
Oh my goodness. He followed it up with Destroy Pulse too.
Ooh,
and that decross. That's a strong decross. He's frozen. He knows exactly where he is thanks to the Beast lock-on. Electman's going to get that full damage.
Oh my gosh.
We aren't able to see the HP from Virririon, but we know that did quite a bit.
From that, from the shocking symbol, that did ×2 damage, which means he took at least 600 damage. That's insane. 420 from the initial hit and breaking the ice, and another 210 from that rock cube. I've never seen anyone really use Electman like this. It's very interesting.
It's quite creative.
It's a lot of setup, but the payoff seems to be worth it if you can pull it off. Ooh,
final Justice. Justice reigns from above.
Boo.
Those buster shots have to be connecting, as Symes has a loaded hand full of many options in terms of Navi chips. He's got setups, 1 rock cube already on the field. He can lock his opponent down with Bubble Star. He's got V-Doll set up. He really has just ample options. But he does still have that HP bug from Destroy Pulse ticking down. Though it's not as dire, it is still something that he should keep in mind.
Virririon is playing really well. He has Justice 1 to destroy panels.
That's pretty smart.
Here comes Status Guard.
Okay. Oh, the anti-damage is blown. Oh, he managed to get him on the only ice panel left on the field. This is going to be substantial damage. Is he going to get that V-Doll off? It looks like he is.
That's 120, 240, 360. That did a total of 360 damage right there.
And a poison panel on the field. He's going to continue chopping away. Eraseman is going to go down. The chances are pretty high that this is going to be neck and neck. Ooh.
Grass panel on Tomahawk is the worst situation you can have.
He's probably setting up for a Burner Man play. Blast Man. I keep saying Burner Man.
Because he likes to burn. I don't blame you. Symes knows this, so he's changing his cross. It's way too risky to stay in Tomahawk if he doesn't have any defense. But at least we know that Virririon is very eco-friendly. He's planting more grass after destroying the previous one.
Yeah, it's always good to plant things after you burn them. Or I guess in the case of Mega Man Battle Network, it's good to plant and then burn, but...
Ooh, Virririon put up the anti. What could it be? Oh, that was a bad TFC, unfortunately. That Pierce is invisible, unfortunately. Knuckle!
Oh, the meteor knuckle!
I only hit twice. Virririon has my luck today, it looks like. It's very unfortunate that Virririon has my luck.
Ooh, the wind rack. What? That was crazy. Oh, the TFC chain! Judgment's not gonna come out.
I'm confused. The wind rack pushed the cubes towards him?
It pushed him... he used wind rack the same time Symes used his charge shot.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. It was Symes who blew it back then.
Yep.
Like, I saw Virririon use wind rack, and I kind of missed it, because they both hit each other at the same time.
They practically played Battle Network tennis with those rock cubes.
Although it would be unfortunate for Virririon, but Symes is all out of Elecman chips.
That recov, it's so clutch. It's off code for the folder, but it's a very smart splash. I am blown away by this match so far. Life aura is down, but that's not really going to be too terribly effective. That is a very smart TFC on Symes' part.
Whoop, pulling a John Cena, you can't see this. Fortunate that Life Aura wasn't gonna stay. Oh, this is a very dire situation for Virririon. Very dire situation.
Oh!
He was prepared for this situation. Ooh,
that is a full damage.
Yeah, that was 4 12 16.
That's a lot of damage. The HP bug is going to tick down. All Virririon really has to do is wait, although Symes still does have the option of beasting over, which would be fairly reckless at this point, opting to go into Ground Cross instead.
The match is probably going to end this turn.
Oh. The charge shot time for Aqua Cross is so low. Oh, no, the freeze! With a buster shot. And it looks like that is the match with Symes versus Virririon. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching.
Symes got cold feet at the end.
He did.
This is Ray just signing off.
MegaMasterX signing off.
So, yeah, welcome back. So we're back. I'm back, and MegaMasterX is signing back in again.
That was such a crazy match.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I actually really digged how he used Alec Man, because I don't know, Alec Man has this flavor of disrespect in it, because to set up rock cubes is really hard in a match.
It is. There's a lot of recipes there's a lot of moving parts in that folder, and thankfully they're all within the same code. So
yeah, it's really cool. It's actually usually a very good effective against noobs, but obviously Virririon isn't a noob. He's really good.
Yeah.
So it speaks volumes for Symes as a player.
For sure.
Yeah. So courtesy to Symes and Virririon for bringing that match, and to you and Eurasia commentating it. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, Eurasia's a really solid commentator. He knows his stuff a lot more than I do, and I'm pretty sure that he doesn't call it Burner Man every single time Blast Man comes up.
Yeah. But it's still fine. It was funny. And actually, the line with the planted grass right after was really good by Eurasia. So, talking about you, we are first doing an interview with you and also taking questions at the same time. So if you have a question, you can write it down into the chat. We'll very likely read it and answer it. But first I have 3 questions for MegaMasterX. So, so for the first one, and obviously the easiest one to answer, who are you and what is the N1GP?
So I am MegaMasterX. I am the tournament organizer and head administrator for the N1 Grand Prix, alongside our phenomenal moderator team. We are a competitive Mega Man Battle Network community. We started out in 2015. It's been a pretty wild ride, but we primarily focus on Battle Network 6 and hopefully in the future earlier Mega Man installments and other games.
So BN PvP was around for ages. You can actually find videos from back in 2006 on YouTube. But before the current community, so the N1GP got started 2 years ago, PvP has been a bit dead. Hamachi, a popular service that was used before, scaled down to 5 slots, so connecting was pretty hard. What made you host a tournament in such an environment?
So, effectively, this is really the story of just how the N1GP started. So I was really bored at work one morning, and before I had even checked to see if it was a thing that could be done before, I had posted on the R Battle Network subreddit stating that I was going to put up a few of my personal battle chip collection and a couple of figures and host a tournament. It had been done prior. There were a few challenge entries. There was not really a dedicated community per se, but there were enough people I felt that would probably be interested in net battling that it might be pretty fun. And the first tournament ended up having 5 participants in it, if I'm remembering correctly, with drops and everything. So it was more than I could have ever imagined. So we ended up using Skype to communicate, and eventually we just started a Skype group, and then we moved over to Discord.
Yeah, that was actually pretty crazy back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've hosted a few tournaments at this point, huh? Are you still around? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're still here.
It's probably Terra just leaving for a bit. You've hosted a few tournaments at this point, and you casted several as well, especially you also casted the show match. What was your best experience so far regarding any of that?
So I think some of the most interesting things have come from the fact that there have been a lot of learning experiences with the events, right? They've obviously, it was a little bit rocky coming up. The original tournament used Twitch restreaming. We had people streaming to other Twitch channels, and then we restreamed that. It was just a real big mess. But I think some of my favorite plays are like the finals matches that just really, really super high level skill, seeing those chip interactions, how people build their folders. That's probably one of my favorite aspects of the community in recent events.
So yeah, at that point we can also ask you, the games themselves, how deep are they? Are they deep enough to actually play competitively?
I believe so. I think there's enough variance, especially in Mega Man Battle Network 6. We've got, mod cards, we've got link navis, we have a pretty diverse chip library, navi customizer options. I think it's diverse enough that there's enough space to spice it up with certain rule sets and things like that. I mean, a few of the other community members have already done things like a link navi tournament and a random battle tournament. It's just, there's a lot of room. So yeah, I think Battle Network PvP is here to stay in some form or another.
Yeah, but for pro PvP you need data. So tell me about the data situation. How did you research what a game did in certain situations? Did you actually have some data at all?
To be honest, I really didn't. Like I said, the community has put together guides that can be obtained by joining the N1 Grand Prix Discord and using !guide guides. You can pull down all of those. They're all there. But I can say safely that I've learned a lot, for sure.
Well, what's your favorite thing you found, the community found during all this research that has been done?
Probably mashing out of paralysis. A lot of newcomers don't even know that you can mash out of paralysis. I believe it's a frame per input, so you could effectively nearly reduce the amount of time you're paralyzed by half. It's pretty insane. But
you can't really do that as a human, except your disco, and disco's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen mashing him out of paralysis? It's actually really crazy.
It is.
Yeah, so You mentioned mod cards. At that point, I can remind you that the Japanese community has two different tournament formats: the senior class, which is pretty much how we play BN6, and the master class, which uses mod cards. Can you elaborate on that?
So the master class format operates off of an 80 megabyte limit, which is supposed to be the intended limit. Of course, the only way that we have the ability to put mod cards in the game is with cheats. So we have access to pretty much all of the mod cards, and then we use GameShark cheats in a certain order to set up our mod cards. It adds a very vivid layer of customization because mod cards have perks and they have detriments, and they can cancel each other out and interact in pretty interesting ways, like bring your Buster into Corn Shot and things like that.
Yeah. Talking about corn, you really like those corns, don't you?
Yeah. It was kind of a joke at first, really, the whole corn thing. I was like, this is a pretty funny program advance. There's nothing like staring a ear of corn in the face while your HP gets pretty much ruined. And then it just became a meme, I guess.
Yeah. I just can't forget. I was just starting out back then. It was during the first tournament preparation, I guess. We were playing and you were on stream, and then I just got hit by Corn Fiesta, and you start laughing like crazy. And I imprinted into my memory and fear. I also remember how you did the research data to prove that Corn Fiesta isn't that bad, as everyone keeps claiming that it was.
Everyone's like, it's not a good program advance, and then, I don't know. I think I took Salad. I think out of all the games I played with the current champion Salad, I probably only won one game. Not even a full match, just a game.
I don't think I even won one. Maybe I did. I don't remember anymore. I don't think so. Yeah. So you also mentioned that there are several formats that people can try out when they join our community. One of those was Link Navies. Can you elaborate on that?
So Link Navies puts you in control of one of the Navies. We just saw Eurasia pilot all of the Navies with the Beast Link Gate. Effectively, we do the same thing with cheats, and then we pilot those Navies and put them against each other. Let's see here. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. And of course, you have your folder set up and everything else. It's really interesting.
I remember Eurasia hosting a tournament. He also mentioned it during his run, and there was quite a lot of of Tomahawk Man because he's really powerful in BN's in EXE6, especially because he has access to a certain glitch that allows him to store boost in his charge shot. Pretty insane if you ask me.
Yeah.
And in general, a very good typing. Word typing is actually pretty crazy because there's also this community meme of bees, and bees being really powerful. So in the end, what happened was that a few people of the N1GP community ended up trying to look for a way to improve this format a bit. Do you remember that?
I do. There's going through our first year, which was, we started up in 2015. Going through it, we had a lot of growing pains with format. We did a lot of experimenting. Some things didn't work, some things did. At one point, we determined tiebreakers or matches that couldn't be played with a coin flip. So that was kind of weird. And chip traders, oh my god.
Chip traders. It was pretty crazy. A guy had to put in a few chips, and then it was decided by the damage that the chip had that they pulled. And if it didn't have any damage, they just straight up lost.
It was not the best. We have better ways of breaking ties now, including an actual way that showcases Netbattler skills, such as playing against Proto Man. I think it's FZ or SP.
FC. I think we decided on SP because people suck against Proto Man FC.
Yeah, and there was talk about using strictly the extra folder too, which was kind of interesting. But there's still room to grow. We definitely encourage people to give us feedback. Like, what do you enjoy about viewing the N1GP events? We usually have feedback threads on Reddit, and I would really encourage people to chime in on those, because we listen to every bit of feedback, both inside and outside the community. So, yeah.
We were talking about formats already, so what's your favorite one?
I would have to say the EXE6 mod card format is probably one of my favorites, and not just because the Corn Shot Buster, but just because that extra layer of customization, it on top of the Navi customizer, your folder, your cross choices, it just adds that extra fun to it that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, that's fair. And from the more fancier format, you remember recently there's also been a format where we roasted Giga chips. Did you enjoy this kind of formats too?
It was very, very interesting, mostly because I don't know, I didn't expect the reverse Giga chips to have as much of a difference as it did. So it was very pleasantly surprising to see that it did so well.
So another very common question found in the N1GP ports is whether you can play the older BN games, so not just BN6 on online together or in general together. Do you have anything to say about that?
So recently, a few of our community members have been experimenting with Android emulators and MyBoy. The only downside to this is that you have to buy an app. It's really difficult to set up, and it's tough to write a guide for it. It is something that we're working on together as a community and to try to kind of refine. We have MGBA. Ndrift has been working on MGBA, and it's going to have supposedly link cable emulation too. We're hoping that will open the doors up for the previous game PvP. But if you want to get into it earlier, we do have we had an N1GP meetup for it pretty recently.
Yeah, I saw that N1GP meetup was really cool. You can actually find the VODs on YouTube and Twitch, I think, right?
Yes, you can find them on Twilight EXE's YouTube channel. He should have a playlist put up soon.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should check it out. What legacy or older game would you be the most excited to play?
Battle Network. Oh, that's a loaded question. I would probably say Battle Network 3, despite how broken it was.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I have the fondest memories of it. Yeah.
That's fair. I would probably play BN5 DS. It's something about having you switch your navies is really cool to me.
So Nick X Skull 69 asked in chat, will it be possible to bring back Star Force 3 multiplayer? The answer to that question is we don't know.
Honestly, the answer to this question is technically yes.
There are emulators.
No, you don't even need emulators. All you need is a custom Wi-Fi server and a proxy server.
That's right.
Set it up as your proxy server on your 3DS or DS, and it technically works. But we never tried it before. But I really wanted to bring Star Force PvP to the N1GP. I just haven't got around it.
After experiencing Battle Network 5 Double Team DS PvP at the N1 Grand Prix meetup recently, I really we haven't explored DS emulation yet enough, but it is something that we want to look at too, because
Yeah, but even without DS emulation, we probably could do it on the DS or 3DS itself. You just need a proper setup. There's a guide for that. We probably set it up someday in the future. Like maybe when I got time, I will get around to it.
Yeah,
I'm actually really excited for this. And probably together with MGBA, there will be Medusa, if you remember right. That is supposed to have local wireless emulation for the DS. I hope this. Yeah. Actually, Andrew is pretty crazy with her ambition. Yeah. So another thing about the BN community is that it's skating up about a certain release coming up. It's the imposing Demo 5 release of Chrono X. Will we have tournaments for that? Can you answer that already?
So I can definitively say yes. We will absolutely have Chrono X tournaments. We'll probably have them as side events for the very beginning of it. We want to give the Mega Dudes team some time to iron out the kinks, make sure it's viable. Based off of the matches I've had with some of the people, because I've actually played the multiplayer Demo 5. Sorry, everyone. But I played it, and the multiplayer there is room to grow, and some people may not like some of the decisions there. There are reasons behind them, like TFCs and things like that. It's a pretty smooth experience, and the chip library is really fun. So yeah, I think there's space for events, N1GP events for Chrono X for sure. I think there's word about a tournament mode specifically being built for it. So we'll see. We'll see what that brings to us in the future. I'm personally in the Sharkman camp. I would rather have Sharkman instead of Tournament. No, I'm joking. But
You need to put a fin to that.
are you offended?
Yeah, I'm very sorry for these puns, but I have no regret. So, what about other fan games? So, if a fan game will have PvP in some form or another, will we pick it up?
It's difficult to say. I'm definitely looking at games like End Cycle and Card Wars, I believe, and a couple of the other fan games that are around. I can't definitively say that there are plans for tournaments for those yet, but there is probably, there's most likely going to be a place in the N1 Grand Prix for those fan games for sure.
Okay, so, oh yeah, I do remember that Shanghai might have PvP, but I surely want to be like BN3. But it's probably something I would be really excited for if Shanghai had PvP.
Yeah, if it does, then we would be pretty excited that we're on that note. We're actually talking about having potentially like a community calendar for next year, where we can have dedicated community events and people can like sign up for them in advance and figure out what we have. With all these interesting things that are coming down the pipe, we want to open up the community and do just more than just Mega Man Battle Arc 6. Let's see. But yeah, we just stay tuned for the N1GP server for that. We definitely want to expand.
Yeah. So talking about expanding, so in this on this very marathon, you played a certain game, the Mega Man TCG, on stream yesterday. Are there implications for future tournaments?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Tabletop Simulator is a really good way to do it. It's kind of clunky, but there's already a few people in the N1 Grand Prix community, like Nistua and Solex Cross. There's a couple of people that actually already play the Mega Man NT Warrior trading card game on the N1GP, so for sure. Would there be a tournament for that? Maybe. I mean, that would be an interesting side event, and it's certainly fun enough to do so. So I don't see why not. I personally love the game. It's really fun.
I actually kind of ran out of questions a bit. Yeah, surprisingly.
Well, we got about 5 minutes, so if there are any other questions that the chat has, I would be more than happy to, and I'm sure Zoli too would be more than happy to answer them.
Oh, you can ask me questions if you want to.
What drew you? Sure, I can toss them your way. What drew you to the N1 Grand Prix at first?
Honestly, I was watching what was it? RPG Limit Break, and then kind of digged into the BN community because I thought, hey, I played this game as a kid. And then I watched Macro, I think, for a while, and he was just bantering a bit or talking how this tournament is coming up. And I was actually kind of excited. I even made a Reddit account for this. Nice. I actually never communicated with other people on the internet before that. So I was really excited, and then I just kind of sticked because I had a lot of fun.
That's excellent. I'm really glad that you were able to lock on to it. We've worked really hard to make sure the N1GP is a safe and open community for everyone to just riff about Battle Network. G102 asks, what controllers do you use when net battling? I personally use an Xbox One controller because it's most comfortable for me. What about you, Zoli?
Well, there was a time where I used an Xbox 360 controller, but it kind of fried. So since then, I'm using a PS3 controller and actually happy with it a lot. It's really good.
I have an amendment to my answer because I actually spilled soda on my Xbox One controller recently, so I'm now using a Quamba Drone Fight Stick.
No, you're not serious.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. DIY Joker. Sorry, go ahead.
I actually have one thing to add. A lot of people are also using keyboards because it has the cleanest single button inputs.
Oh yeah.
And Xbox 360 has the tendency to just go off bounds, so it's not really good. Not recommended.
Yeah. DIY Joker asks, is there any weekly or monthly tournament running or planning in the future? So part of the plans of 2018, and like I said, include that community calendar where we will have events that are rolling on a regular basis. Because as it stands right now, there are 2 official N1GP events per year, official being ones that I host and organize and things of that nature. I would love to have N1GP at EVO, by the way. So
if you turn up to EVO, there'll probably be a corner with some dudes playing BN. I bet.
If Mars ever goes, I would hope that would be what happens. But
if you and Mars go, it would happen. I bet.
For sure. But yeah, there's not weekly tournaments yet. That could change. I would like to dig into that a little bit further. Now, we got a couple minutes left. I actually have an announcement to make here before our time runs out, because we don't want to push it too far. The N1 Grand Prix Winter Shara Rumble was unfortunately delayed. It was supposed to be in the first part of December, but the N1 Grand Prix meetup actually collided with that. So what we are doing now is we're going to have the N1 Grand Prix Winter Shara Rumble on January 27th and 28th of 2018. And as of right now, registration is open on the N1 Grand Prix Discord. So if you type event join space and then your Netbattler name, you will be signed up for that event. You can also do !event info in the Discord in order to get information about the event. There are some rule changes here, so make sure that you click on the link for the paste bin to make sure that you have the most up-to-date rules for that, and it includes the banned and restricted chip list. And one of the big changes in this event is that we're going to be doing a Swiss pool match, and we are going to cut to top 8 with a double elimination bracket, which is not something that we have done with N1 Grand Prix events. So we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit. And yeah, so that is currently live. You can register for that event on the N1 Grand Prix Discord. The link is there, of course. It's also on the stream. So feel free to join up. We have we have tons of people that are willing to teach you about MegaMan Battle Network net battling. So yeah, so feel free to join. We have a community that's ready to teach, and guides that are ready to teach as well. So
and honestly, if you play a bit, like if you start now and play a bit, you probably could be one of the top guys starting at the N1GP tournament next month, because the skill you can actually learn a lot if you just play a little bit. So you should not have any fear of signing up. It's really super easy and a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I want to thank TeamBN for allowing us a time slot here. We definitely apologize for the tech issues, and I think that's going to be it. I don't have any. If you you have any closing words, Zoe?
Yeah, I'm very thankful for having you here, and also for everyone in chat watching us. See you around. Until the next tournament. Bye.
Until next time, too.
Thank you very much, MegaMasterX and Zully. Looking forward to the Shara Rumble. Be sure to join the N1GP Discord if you're interested in participating. And that wraps up the N1GP segment. Coming up next, we've got Red Matters demoing his game End Cycle. So we'll switch to transition and get set up for that. So hang tight. Be right back.
Good luck.